Yellow card. Yellow card. Traffic concern. Okay. Good evening. Welcome to the Planning and Zoning Commission for September 7th. Can I have a roll call, please?
Chairman Human,
Here.
Vice Chair Rose,
Here.
Commissioner Morgan,
Here.
Commissioner Koschel, here, Commissioner Quinn, Commissioner Velasquez,
Here.
Commissioner Barkello.
Here.
We have quorum.
Thank you very much. Next item on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance. Vice Chair Rose will lead us.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Vice Chair. Okay. To the audience, before this meeting, we had a study session going through the items that we have. And there were a couple of stipulations that were added, I believe, on number 2. Lauren, you just want to read those into the records. I do have a speaker card for item number 2 that I'm not going to pull the item off of consent. I'll have the speaker come up, but if you want to read the stipulations, Lauren.
Through the chair, PDP stipulation number 13, all homes built on corner lots adjacent to an arterial street shall be single story. The applicant, PDP stip 14, the applicant shall work with staff to enhance any blank right side elevations. And PDP stipulation 15, the applicant shall replace all thornless mesquite trees with a different tree from the low water plant list.
Okay, great, thank you. David, that was the only steps we had, right? Everything else was already part of the record.
That's correct.
Okay. So I'm going to have on this particular item, there is a speaker card for Michael and Ann, and I'll butcher your last name, but I apologize. If you want to come up on item number 2 and state your concerns, I would appreciate it. If you could state your name and address for the record too when you come up, Michael.
Good afternoon. My name is Michael Jukic. My address is 850 East Peachtree Place. Thank you for your time. Question I have concerned is the entrance onto McQueen versus did you do a traffic, or was the traffic study done on having the entrance to the subdivision for on Hunt Highway? Questions? Anybody?
So,
Answers?
so your question is why is it on McQueen versus Hunt Highway? Lauren, do you want to address that if you could for us, please?
Hi. Chair and Commission, so it was the developer's choice to put the drive out along McQueen. Maybe we could ask them up here to better explain. I will let you know that this project did submit a traffic impact statement, and it was reviewed by the city transportation engineer. Very early on, we were looking at the location of the entrance along McQueen because there's certain separations. It had to be separated so far from their subdivision entrance across the street to the west, as well as a certain distance from Hunt Highway and McQueen intersection. So at its current location, that's where our traffic engineer signed off on it.
I can understand what you just said as far as doing this, the traffic study and entrance of that. The question is why McQueen versus not Hunt Highway here? More than enough distance. There are no side streets that are close to the entrance and exit for it. Obviously, something, maybe the number of homes that you're building, there's 100 homes, I believe, in the present plan. If by changing it to have the entrance from onto Hunt Highway, does it reduce it? We all know economics.
Lauren, can you address that or?
Um, Commission, I'm not a traffic engineer, but I'm looking at the site currently, and I'm looking at some existing subdivisions out along Hunt Highway, and they don't access Hunt Highway. I
But there
don't
are
know the
streets that
traffic.
exit. There's gated communities to the east of that. There's several gated communities there, retirement communities or whatever that have gated access to Hunt Highway here.
Is it
So
more,
it's-
I know that Sunbird has an emergency exit on the backside. Is it more for a fire
No.
exit?
They go in and out. It's accessed by a card or a,
I'm trying to keep this on consent, but Brennan, do you want to just come up and address that? That seems to be the only issue at this point, so. Can you state your name and address for the record too, please?
Good evening, Chair, members of the Commission. Brendan Ray, 1850 North Central, here on behalf of the applicant Blandford Homes. As was discussed, there are a number of reasons why McQueen Road is the primary entrance. As this group is well aware, on the south side of Hunt Highway is the Indian Reservation community. And so I think Lauren is correct. I know this area. There are streets that access to Hunt Highway, but none of them are primary entrances. All of them are secondary access points. And with nothing out to Hunt Highway, it doesn't provide a good marketing window. It's not the look and feel that we want for this community. Recognize and understand that this is Tex Earnhardt's property, and there is a certain historical significance to it. And Blandford has felt, who is one of the top home builders in the valley, they felt that they could provide a better experience for drivers and passersby along McQueen Road, which is less trafficked, I believe, than Hunt Highway. And so those are just some of the reasons. I'm sure I can come up with some more if this group would like me to.
That's fine. Okay, thank you. Sir, does that kind of answer your question? I mean, Hunt Highway is I know that's a lot busier road and it continues
have
to
you
get
been
busier.
on McQueen lately?
Yes, I have. Yeah, I mean,
And you believe that Town Highway has more traffic than McQueen?
on highway is designed to have a lot more traffic over a period of time,
Okay.
so,
All right, thank you for your
okay,
time.
thank you. Okay, to the audience, I see a hand up. Sir, you have a question on the same item?
I do.
Okay, so,
But
sir,
I've never been to one of these before, so I apologize if this is inappropriate.
okay, if you want to come up and state your name and address for the record, that'd be great.
My name's Robert Clifford, 26560 South McQueen. I'm directly west of the entrance to this property.
Okay.
And I read through this proposal here, this 3-4 page proposal, and I find one sentence that discusses development plan does not constitute final development plan approval, compliance with the details required for codes and conditions. There's nothing in here that discusses what happens at McQueen Road, the alignment, which turn lanes, what's the entrance to the property, what are our access going to be on to the properties on the west side. So I mean, this is all great that has all this information about
Sir,
what's inside.
are you across the way in the county? Is that where are you across McQueen in the county? Is that where you live?
In the county, yes.
Okay. All
I'm
right,
right
I'm
on,
just
I'm right
curious.
on McQueen. I own
Okay, okay.
almost,
Lauren, do you want to, the preliminary, okay. If I get more questions, I'm going to pull it. So we're going to have a hearing. So,
All right, so, sure.
Chair, apologize for this. Tom Lemon, who's standing in the back, sitting next to me, has met with Mr. Clifford and talked with him in detail about what is to happen with McQueen Road. As this group is well aware, as we go through the process, there are other municipal departments that review this, traffic being one of them, engineering being another. And so we have coordinated what those improvements will be required to McQueen Road in front of this subdivision. And I know that Mr. Lemon has visited with Mr. Clifford about these and those things that were discussed with Mr. Clifford and others along McQueen Road in the county. Blandford stands behind those discussions, and those details are worked out as we continue to go into construction documents beyond this kind of conceptual initial phase.
all right, thank you. Yes, so this is the process, the engineering, and I've been doing this a long time, that the plan is there, has to be approved by engineering as part of it, and they will work, and again, we're recommending body, so this will go to the city council for final approval. I'm not sure what the date is, David? September? Something?
This will go to the city council on September 22nd.
Okay. All right, thank you. So in terms of our traffic engineers, I know will look at things like that, sir, and decide if there's any issues in terms of access and things like that. And I know that Blanford will work with our engineers because nothing will get approved unless it meets code for one thing and stuff. So I hope that answers your question a little bit.
no, I mean, do we have any input into what the final configuration is there?
I think that if you want to talk to staff after the meeting and they can let you know what the process is going to be in terms of the actual part of that, in terms of street design, things like that. So
Okay. and
the
this
plan,
meeting-
the plan's there now in terms of we're going to, whether we approve it or not tonight, the plans are laid out for along McQueen, along Hunt Highway, where the entrance is. And I know staff will work with our engineering department, so there's not a conflict in terms of potential hazards and stuff. So that won't be allowed to happen.
So the final plans have not been determined yet?
I think that is the layout. Lauren, you want to address that a little bit? Because the plans are laid out in here. There's always going to be little tweaks to it just based on engineering when they do the final construction documents and things as well. I think that's the best way to explain it.
Yeah, and I've seen the plans, so I know what the plans look like, but there's ambiguity.
Through the chair, commission, as part of this submittal, there's a preliminary plat associated with it. It was a very large booklet. It's the last exhibit of development booklet number 4. And in that exhibit, it shows what McQueen Road ultimately is going to look like, as well as Hunt Highway. And I'd be happy to share this with him. And this has been reviewed by engineering.
And engineering's okay with it? Okay. And again, we're recommending body to council, so sir, this will go to council for final approval. So Lauren can help maybe get with you and explain where it's at. And if you have an objection to it when it gets to council, then you can come to council as well. I hope that answers your question a little bit.
Okay, and what is to be discussed at the September 22nd meeting?
That's the city council's vote on to approve it or not.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you for your
Great.
time.
So to the audience, is there anybody else that has any questions on any of the other items that are on the agenda tonight? Okay. If not, what's the commission? Any further questions from the commission? If not, I'll take a motion on the items.
Through the chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda with the stipulations that were read in by
Okay.
city staff.
Do I have a second?
Second.
A second. Jeff, did you have a question? You look like you, okay, great. Okay. Any further discussion? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay. Motion carries. And to the audience, we're recommending body the city council. So any of these items tonight will go on to council. Will council have the final decision on these different projects and stuff. So with that, any announcements from staff? Okay. With that, our next meeting, we don't have a meeting. The next two meetings, our next meeting is October 19th.
Yep.
Okay. In these chambers. So with that, adjourn.